Hello friends, this is going to be a choose a pile or pick a card reading about healing from narcissism, narcissistic relationship, narcissistic abuse, regardless of if it's romantic or within your upbringing or something within your family. Chances are, if you have had a relationship with a narcissist romantically, you probably had narcissists around you in your childhood growing up, because we repeat patterns or cycles. Now, one thing I want to say, guys, before I get into the different piles, just hear me out real quick. I know you guys are in a hurry. I'll keep it brief. Not everyone who behaves as a narcissist is a narcissist. A lot of the times we're dealing with people who they themselves have been victims of narcissism growing up, and so they learned behaviors and they're repeating them. And sometimes these people just need to go through an awakening or a healing or therapy or whatever it might be. So that is something that may come up as well. So moving on to the cards, the first pile here we have a clear quartz, second pile here we have a citrine, and the third pile here we have hematite. Okay, my friends, so take a moment, pause if you need to, pick out the deck that's calling to you the most, or the pile that's calling to you the most, and I will have timestamps in the description. You can go ahead and go to your deck. So go ahead, take a moment, pause if you need to. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump right into pile 1. So one of the things that I got for pile 1 when I was shuffling and laying down this deck, I got the number 10. When the number 10 comes up in my readings, it's basically letting me know that the person I'm reading for has finished or completed a cycle. There's something that kept happening in your life over and over and over again, and you finally got out of it, or you finally learned what you needed to learn. Because something will keep repeating until we take away what we're meant to learn from it. So I feel that those of you who chose this pile, not only were you dealing with a narcissist, but you were dealing with codependency. And codependency comes in a lot of different degrees and a lot of different forms. I feel for a lot of you, you were trying to fill a void, and you were looking for someone maybe to validate you, or some of you needed to be the exception, okay? Some of you know that you're special. You know that you're special. You know that you're different. You know that you're not like other people, okay? And not in a conceited way, not in an arrogant way. But a lot of you have felt for a very long time, since you were little, that you were different from other people. And this is because either you have spiritual gifts or intuitive abilities, or you're very connected in some way with your empathetic or healing abilities, you know, that light worker aspect, that earth angel aspect, whatever you want to label it as. But you knew something was different, but you were treated very poorly. So you looked for someone that could maybe recognize that or see that in you. And as it came into romantic relationships, you went after people that typically maybe would have rejected you, or were not available or whatever, because you wanted to stand out and you wanted to be the exception to the rule, maybe even subconsciously, like you did it without realizing. So you would have been the one who maybe you were closer with your teachers than with kids your age. Like, you needed to stand out. You needed to be the exception. You needed to break through barriers, right? Or like if you have, you know, somebody you're dealing with professionally on a professional level, or a boss, like, you needed to be the special one out, or you needed to be the one like to be seen or acknowledged for the difference that you have. And for a lot of you, that bled into romantic relationships. So then you were in situations where a lot of your self-esteem depended on this other person, and trying to get this other person to behave the way that we would expect them to show that they love us. So a lot of what this person did, it felt like your fault for you. Like, you know, if they're not committing, or if they're not being loyal, or if they're not being expressive, it was always, well, how can I love this person to get them to open up, to be committed or to be expressive? How can I, steer this relationship or steer this ship so this person can see that I'm different? And I think a lot of you beat that for a very long time, like just over and over and over again. Even though it was already dead, you would resurrect it and try again. But you're done with that cycle. That's the good news. The good news here is that you're not going to be in that cycle of codependency. And a lot of you were competing with someone who was broken in some way, right? Like the healer in you wanted to heal the broken. And narcissists love that. Narcissists love the idea of somebody coming in and like your life being all about them and you feeling responsible for their happiness and you catering to them and like they feed off of that. So many of you who chose this deck, it's that classic empath meets narcissist, cycle. Empaths are the most delicious supply to a narcissist. So a lot of you had that cycle or that foundation, but you're coming out of it. Indecision. This pain that you went through, this cycle that you went through, helped you to finally make up your mind about what you want, where your boundaries are, what your expectations are, what you deserve. A lot of you are also coming into your spiritual path as a result of this. And a lot of you have changed or broken away and ended really, really toxic past life cycles or past life contracts or really toxic karmic relationships. Now, all relationships are karma. There's positive karma, there's negative karma, but I'm referring to ending the toxic or the negative karma. Whatever maybe you had a debt to the universe spiritually, you've paid that. You've paid that, and now you have this clean slate moving forward about what you're manifesting and what you're calling in. Okay, right now the world is your oyster. I think that a lot of you people who picked this deck, right, you know that you're done with the narcissist, but maybe you feel a little bit in limbo. Like, I don't know what's next. Do my guides want me to be single? Do my guides want me to be married? Do my guides want me to devote my life to my spirituality, to my career? This is for you to decide. The one beautiful thing is a lot of you know now who you are, right? So as you're making decisions, focus on making decisions that honor that honor who you are, and that are going to be feeding your soul, that are going to be fulfilling to your soul. The next card we have here is the Art of Seduction. Now, I was just saying how many of you who chose this deck, you're really coming into realizing what you deserve and who you are. And some of this is taking back your power. Okay, like you don't so much need that validation anymore. You healed from that. You healed from that cycle of I'm different and I need you to see I'm different. You don't need that validation anymore. And this is about coming into your own sensuality, your own self-esteem. It's coming from within and having the confidence to go out and to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to, get this person's attention, or I'm going to go and turn on the charm. It's kind of giving yourself permission to be more open and to kind of, I don't want to say flaunt the ways in which you're different or the way that you're special, but you're definitely more comfortable with it, and you're not hiding anymore, and you're not waiting for permission, or you're not waiting for somebody to like tell you that you're different or that you're desirable. You know that you're desirable finally. One of the things I'm going to say about this card, simply because it might save somebody a lot of time, because it's something me personally, I just recently realized or came to an understanding for myself, and it's something I'm still working through, and had I realized it sooner, I could have maybe worked through it by now. I'm not the kind of person that I'm gonna go and like, chase after somebody if I'm attracted to them or if I'm interested in them. I'm not that bold. I'm a confident person, but I'm not one to make the move. And I realize it's because on my spiritual path, it's not even like a self-esteem thing, but I realized that on my spiritual path, when I was less awakened or less enlightened, a lot of my life was about imposing my beliefs on others. Like, I grew up in a really conservative religion, and we were all about converting people, and we were all about going and like preaching to people and convincing them that this religion was the right religion. And in other ways, like, there was a little bit of a self-righteousness that was in me. And so much of my life was about, like, you know, imposing beliefs on others. And now I'm super laid back, and I'm like, hey, like, whatever you believe, whatever you want. Like, I never want to be the one who's stepping in and like pushing things on people. And that's one of the ways, like, in my romantic life, I don't like go after. I'm not like the assertive person, because there's this thing about like not wanting to impose my will, right? But I could probably be a little bit more direct. Like it wouldn't be a bad thing, you know? And so maybe some of you relate to that. And I will just leave that there for you to kind of meditate on, and see if maybe that's one of the reasons why you might be a bit of a wallflower. But, you know, everybody's different on their path. But this is like you're coming into your confidence and you're seeing that you're a catch. Goddess of oneness. Someone you love is thinking fondly of you at the moment. And I think a lot of you, in your heart of hearts, you know that this narcissist person does value you and does regret losing you. But I also feel that you realize this person wants you for selfish reasons. This person wants you for selfish gain, and you're not going to go back to that, which I'm very, very happy to know that. A lot of you already have somebody new coming in, or you're sensing it, or you can feel it. Either you feel somebody sniffing around you right now, and you're like, man, do I open the door and let this person in? You know, some of you, I'm being told that the person that's around you or that's pursuing you has a really, really high self-esteem. Like, they think highly of themselves and they're very confident. And I feel like this is scaring you, because you're like, oh man, what if this is another narcissist, or what if this is another egomaniac? And for the majority of you, now this is a general reading, so you might need a private reading for more information, but for many of you, you're just attracting this high self-esteem person because you have a high self-esteem. And you're in like this confidence. So our energy attracts similar energy. But the majority of you that gravitated towards this pile, you've broken through that old cycle. You're not going to be calling in narcissists anymore. And, you know, whoever is coming in now or coming in next is going to be genuine here. A genuine relationship. Transformation, my dears. You're transforming, you're changing, you're out of that cage. All of your limiting beliefs, the ways in which you were limiting yourself from growing, you've cleared that out. It's done. I don't know if you just saw that smoke blow over the card. That's confirmation for me. You're transforming, and you can trust that the ideas and thoughts you are receiving are your guides and angels guiding you for your next steps towards this life of freedom and beauty. Next, we have abundance, okay? Abundance comes in all forms, all forms. It comes in love. You know, we hear abundance and we think of money, right? We're like, oh, yes, awesome money. And yeah, that's a part of it. Money is definitely a part of abundance. But abundance comes in laughter, friendship, romance, experiences, learning. It's just fulfillment on every level. Mind, body, you know, heart, spirit, soul, financially, physically, in every way. And I think for a lot of you, abundance is coming in as a message that maybe some of you have been afraid. That, okay, well, my problem is I went after the bad boy or the bad girl, or I went after the forbidden fruit, and it's because there was passion there, or there was desire or chemistry there, and now that I'm getting ready to settle down, maybe I just have to go after the boring person because the boring person is safe. Well, no, my dears. you were attracted to that bad boy or bad girl or that just bad news because your picker was broken, because you were attracted to what you knew from a lifetime of seeing grown-ups and, you know, people around you growing up, or what media maybe had and, you know, put on your mind from a young age. But now that your picker, your radar is healed and fixed, you're going to be attracted to healthier relationships. So you're not going to be, you know, in a situation where you're not going to have that passion. You don't have to give anything up. You don't have to settle. You're going to genuinely be gravitated towards and attracted to people that you genuinely wouldn't have been attracted to in the past. Because before, you were attracted to unhealthy. You were attracted to drama, to craziness. And you're out of that now. You're ready to be loved. You're ready to be supported. You're ready to have a fulfilling relationship. And so that abundance is coming in. All right, my dears. So just continue doing the things that bring your heart joy and happiness. And that will speed up your process to the next, you know, big thing coming in. And maybe for some of you, you don't want the relationship. You just want to have a happy life doing what you love doing. It's coming in. Whatever your abundance is, you are drawing it in now. All right, thank you, pile 1 friends. Let's move on to pile number 2, which was the citrine stone. So the lesson here for you who were drawn to this relationship or this pile, you were dealing with relationships in which you were learning to love yourself. And many of you didn't give yourself permission to really like go out there. It's almost like, I think a lot of you felt your life was on hold until you knew who you were going to be with. Like, this would be like, oh, well, I don't know what job I want to work because I don't know what kind of job is going to be the job that I'm going to meet my person. Or I don't know what city I want to live in because I don't know what city my true love is going to be in, right? Like, a lot of your life maybe was on hold or felt like it was on the back burner until you could find that relationship. And maybe some of you are still in that situation where you're like, okay, I'm not with the narcissist anymore, or I'm getting ready to leave the narcissist, but I don't know where to go because I don't know where my person is, right? It's like, it's almost as if we're not in the relationship, we're like this little lifeless doll on the shelf, and we're just waiting for somebody to come and pick us up so we can come to life. All right. And this card is trying to let you know that you are lovable, that you deserve to be loved, and you don't have to be that little lifeless doll on the shelf waiting for somebody to, you know, show up and pick you up and pop batteries in you so you can come to life. You have that life in you now, and you deserve to live it. And as you are going out and living this life is when your highest soulmate will come in. This relationship has called Archangel Raphael to you. Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. He's also the angel of true love. Okay, true love and soulmates. And so a lot of you have been praying for a very long time for your person. And a lot of you felt like this was your person. And you can't understand how on earth, you know, why would you have such a painful relationship? Why would your angels allow such a terrible person into your life? Why would you have to have this heartbreak? Why can't you just have your person and not have gone through this? Well, sometimes, not sometimes, always, 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 always. If we've been through very negative experiences, and maybe some of you are like, I've just had a hard life since birth, I've been around terrible people since birth, maybe some of you have had that cycle for a very long time. When we're used to abuse, we will be attracted to people who are going to carry on that abuse, okay? And we need to be broken open so that we can heal, we can come back together, and we can really see that, whoa, okay, like this is not okay, this is not a healthy relationship. Otherwise, we're going through life on autopilot, and some of you were on that autopilot phase, and your angels and guides are like, okay, well, we want to get you with the right person, and the right person wants to be with you too, and they're looking for you. We need to get you all together. But first, there's all of this emotional baggage, there's all of this pushed down, repressed emotion, repressed memory that's in the way of you experiencing love. So we got to let this jerk come in, right? To you know, push the trigger, push the button so all of those feelings can come up. So maybe some of you still have emotions that need to be released around this relationship or this experience. And maybe you're thinking, oh, well, I want to be positive. I don't want to be negative. I'm going to be positive and I'm not going to think about that. Well, you don't want to repress again. You don't want to push the stuff down. Let it out. Raphael is saying this is a time for you to heal. Let it out. Take sea salt baths. If you can afford doing energy healing, go and see an energy healer. If you can't do energy healing, or if you can't afford it, or if there's nobody near you in your area, take a sea salt bath once a week. If you can't take a bath, go to the health food store and get like a sea salt scrub or a soap that has lavender or rose or sage in it, or a combination of those things, and use a special bar of soap. Aromatherapy, you know, meditating, yoga, going for walks, painting, journaling, listening to music, and just singing your heart out. There's a billion zillion ways that you can release that is not going to cost you a lot of money, okay? And that is going to be just as powerful as going to an energy healer. And Raphael is with you now, helping you release so that you can be with your highest soulmate. Next, we have your butterfly garden, okay? So this is about you exploring, figuring out who you are, what you want, what your possibilities are. The description here, I know butterflies are a symbol of transformation, but the description in the booklet that came with this deck is this is about curiosity and wandering around and figuring out and discovering yourself and discovering the world. So your person that you're looking for is not going to just magically find you and swoop you away, you know, to like where you're meant to be. It's as you're going through doing things that are fun and enjoyable for you, and as you're going through and just kind of figuring out who you are and what you like and what you want, that's how this new person will be coming in for you. Even if you don't want another relationship and you're just focusing on you and you're like, but I don't know what I want to do, that's okay. You're going to find it. You're going to discover it as you begin approaching and investigating the things that you're curious about, or the things that you think you might want to learn more about. You are being called here to expand your thinking. Okay, expand your thinking. See things from a different perspective. See things from a different angle. You are being encouraged to expand your thinking. The world is your oyster. Okay, like let's try to get out of the limiting thoughts. There's nothing that you can't learn about, right? That there's so many resources available to you. So give yourself permission to investigate. Give yourself permission to explore. This came into your life so you could release that negativity. Look at that confirmation right there. There was all this negativity around you maybe your whole life, and this relationship came in so that you could release it. You could get it out of your system so that beautiful, positive, noble friendship or relationship or romance or career can come into your energy. Okay, the trash had to come out. So the trash came to the surface. Release it, let it go, give it to Archangel Michael to take it, clean it, recycle it, transmute it into pure white love and light, and use it as fuel to move you forward into the things that are bringing you joy. Union is your overall message here. You will have union. You will be loved. You will have union and connection within yourself. You will understand who you are. You will know yourself. You will come into your life purpose, your life path, and you will have the union with the highest, best possible soulmate for you. But right now is about your self-discovery and going out and beginning to investigate the things that are of interest to you or that you are curious about. Very much like a child who comes and says, Mommy, I don't know what to do. I'm so bored. Go find something to play with, right? And sometimes kids, left to their own devices, they will find really interesting things to play with. Maybe they're not going to play with their toys. They're going to find some box and their imagination goes wild, and that box is a boat and it's a car and it's a billion things, and then they decide they want to put stickers on it or paint it or whatever, and the creativity opens up. Let your creativity open up. You don't have to know everything right now this second. Just explore and see where that road leads you, because it's leading you to this union. both within yourself and for your highest soulmate. Okay, thank you, pile 2 people. We're going to move on to pile 3, which was the hematite stone here. And the foundation here for this relationship, my dears, you had the passion, okay? Allowing your heart and soul to sing with joy. So this relationship from the get-go is probably pretty hot and heavy. And when I see this card, I think of what I call the pilot light soulmate. Just like you might have a gas stove. Those of you who have a gas stove, sometimes the pilot light goes out. Or maybe like in the furnace, the pilot light goes out and you got to call the gas company to come in and relight it so you can have that heat. Sometimes the fire in us goes out. And when the fire in us is out, we can't manifest. So the universe will send us a soulmate to just get that fire back, get that groove back. But the connection can be so intense, just so very intense, where you start falling in love. And women especially, more so than men, have this pattern. Even though we say that, oh, men are easily led, women, when the passion is intense or when the sexual chemistry is very intense, women fall in love very quickly, especially. And so this high level of passion maybe came in and blocked the thinking a little bit. And there could be fear, there could be worry now. Okay, I know this person was a narcissist, or I know this was a bad situation, but what if I never feel this again? And the universe wants you to know that you will feel it again, but this was somebody who had to come in and awaken it in you. And maybe you were the kind of person where you were very closed up. So maybe like a gentleman or a gentlewoman or whatever you want to say may not have been very forceful with you, or may not have like chased after you. They would have been like, okay, well, this person seems like they want to be left alone, and they would have left you alone. And then that fire would never have been lit. Maybe you needed the egocentric jerk person who is very persistent, because otherwise that wall would have stayed up. Maybe you needed somebody to tear that wall down. Right here we have woman holding a coin. So maybe you were closed off. Maybe you were a little bit kind of possessive of your space. And this person did have to come in to tear down your wall. I think for a lot of you who picked this pile, another lesson here was balancing love and money. Okay, maybe some of you were very wowed or wooed or swept off your feet because this person came in and like spent some serious coin on you, and that made you feel like, wow, this person must really care about me. Whereas for them, it was an ego thing. Like, oh yeah, look at me, I got this money, I can drop all this money, I can have whoever I want. And you're like, oh, this person must really care about me, that they're being so generous, right? But for them, it was an ego thing. Narcissists will do that, you know? For other ones of you, you've been so busy within your career that maybe you haven't had time to really have strong emotional connections or emotional intimacy. So when this passion came in, it just completely and totally got your attention, and it made you realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe I do want more than career. Maybe I do want more than financial stability. Maybe I do want that touch. Maybe I do want somebody in my life. So even though this person maybe was not a good person, this was the person that had to come in to get your attention and break through your walls. Next, here you have Home in the Sky. And this is a card about just kind of not being very grounded and just kind of drifting around, okay? And so your angels and guides are saying that now that you've had this experience, it's a really good chance and a really good time for you to figure out your priorities. And like they say, birds of a feather flock together. It's time to go start hanging out in the places where you're going to find people that share your beliefs, that share your priorities. And sometimes we make a mistake and we get really caught up in like, oh, okay, well, you know, my culture is a big part of who I am, or my ethnicity, and maybe like we go hanging out in like places like cultural or ethnical clubs, or sometimes even church or religious organizations. But sometimes those places, it's just kind of out of pattern, like out of habit, right? There are deeper things that make us people. It's not about where we were born. It's not about what country our families migrated from. It's about the mentality. It's about the heart. It's about the spirit. It's about the soul. So what is important to us as we go doing and engaging the things that are important to us, we're going to find those people that are on the same level as us. We're going to find home. And it doesn't have to be scary. And that's where you're going to find your fulfillment. And if you're looking for love, that's where you're going to find the true love. By doing somebody... by that came out wrong. But by doing the things where somebody that you're looking for is going to have the same qualities. That's where they're going to be, right? So, for example, if children were very important to you, right? If you got into some kind of organization that helps children or began doing things some way for children, you know, you're going to meet other people that are engaging in that, or animals, or whatever it might be. Or maybe religion is very important to you, or spirituality. Are you taking classes, workshops, going to church meetings, you know, organizations? You become involved in those things and you begin creating that foundation for yourself, and there you're going to find the person that's going to have that shared foundation or want to build on that same foundation with you. Next card here is Angel of Prayer. Ask the universe and the angels for help and guidance. Okay, you might just feel a little bit kind of confused right now. You know, you don't know where home is. Maybe you really thought that this was the person, and now that you're realizing it's not the person, things feel very up in the air. Okay, I feel that for a lot of you, this person came into your life to wake you up, to shake you up, and to get you to start thinking about soul level stuff, spiritual level stuff, connection, emotional intimacy. And now you're realizing how lonely you are, or now you're realizing how much you need to have people you can trust in your life. And your angels and guides are like, look, we're here. Talk to us. We're here. Talk to us and you'll be able to feel us. You know, open up your heart, pray. You'll begin to feel the guidance. You'll begin to feel the presence of your angels. Angels cannot intervene and help us without our permission. And that's something a lot of people don't realize. We have to give them permission to step in and to help. So this is right now, your angels are saying, talk to us and let us help you. Next, we have here release. Okay, time to let go of the experience, time to let go of the situation. Let go of your expectations of this person. I think some of you are having a really hard time accepting that this person doesn't see how perfect you would have been together. Like if they could just get their crap together and grow up, then everything would be perfect. And there might be a little bit of a resentment. Like you and your selfishness is standing in the way of a wonderful, amazing relationship. But your angels and guides are saying, trust that things are happening as they're meant to happen. I don't know if you can see that smoke blowing over, but that's confirmation right there. Trust that things are happening in the way that they're meant to happen. Release your expectations of this person. Release this person. Release expectations that you have upon yourself of how things should be or shouldn't be. Trust in the changes that are coming in, because you're being redirected to something very great right now. Intuition. Okay, so a lot of this is coming in to strengthen your intuition, to strengthen in your trusting yourself, knowing yourself. Maybe there were things early on about this relationship that you're like, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have trusted this person, or I knew something like this was going to happen. This is your intuition strengthening. So open up and let it in. Listen to it. And do the things your intuition is guiding you to do. Maybe your intuition is saying, I should really go take that trip, or I should really go call that person, or I should really go check out that workshop, or whatever it might be. Begin listening, because your angels and guides are trying to like lay a little breadcrumb trail for you to follow, to take you to the thing that's going to bring you fulfillment. Whether you're trying to manifest a romantic relationship, or a career change, or spiritual growth, your angels are trying to lead you to it. And it's coming in through these ideas and through these intuitions. But it's up to us to listen to that intuition. It's up to us to follow that guidance. All right, my lovelies, I think that something in this healing is going to be really increasing your healing abilities or your psychic abilities. I can tell you from my experience, the biggest heartbreak of my life with a terrible, terrible person, which I know we're not supposed to judge, but this was a terrible, evil person, led me to my healing and to my own intuition, to my own psychic gifts. So in a way, that was a very big gift that ended up helping a lot of people. You know, I had to go through some really crappy times, but it led to blessings for me and for the people that I've been able to help through reading for them. And through the social media. So I think a lot of you are having a similar experience here as well. It's not fun, but it will be a blessing in the long run. And it's going to connect you to your higher self, your higher power, and to your own gifts and abilities as you're healing. All right, my lovelies, thank you so very much for watching. Check out the other pick a card readings. Check out every single week. I do a forecast for each zodiac sign, and I do love readings. So subscribe, hit notification. There's a ton of videos on my channel, and you'll get notifications when the new videos are up. But I'm doing a lot more videos, so don't miss out on any of them. And if you're interested in a private reading, there's information in the description on how you can go and check out the different reading options and schedule online for a private reading if you would like to do that. Thank you so very much for watching.